hello everyone. Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Agatha Christie's and Anyone None. And without further ado, let's continue the rest of the game. Now we've just arrived on the island. We're playing as Narracott, someone who replaced his brother while transferring these individuals over to the island. Of course we know this is a murder mystery kind of, solving puzzles, well, not solving puzzles, but a murder game nonetheless. So what we have to do now, we have to go and try and figure out what we need to do. So it's been a long time since I played this, but I think we need to go and talk to various people in order to get this thing along a little bit.
"10 little sailor boys. Charming."
Yeah, they will come into play a little bit later.
It'll never work, I tell you. We should never have agreed. A house party only a week after we arrive? And no other help?
Ethel, calm yourself.
You promised me. Never again, you said.
How was I to know? Oh, Mr. Narracott. Ethel will be preparing you a meal in here once the guests are served.
Mr. Rogers, I was wondering if I might have a word.
Perhaps you'd find one of the guests with more free time to chat. None of them are doing any work.
Well, that's quite rude.
The refrigerator hardly seems large enough for a house of this size. Copper pots, just as I'd expect.
Well, this is the back staircase, and this is the this is the room here. This is their room, obviously. Oh, we don't need to go that way. We want to go back to the kitchen, I believe. A lot of this will probably be me trying to walk around and figure out what I need to do.
I don't need to lug this around with me. No need to call unnecessary attention to my snooping. I'll need to wait until the weather lets up a bit.
So hopefully this game will run okay.
Would you just look at all these silk sheets? All embroidered GS. I'll bet that was that actress who used to live here. I've dropped them on this filthy floor.
Can I give you a hand, Mrs. Rogers?
Thank you, Mr. Narracott. You seem like a good sort. I'm sorry for your boat.
That sounds like the dinner.
Oh, here we go.
Mr. Narracott, unfortunately, we are not prepared for your presence at dinner. I would be most happy to deliver you a sandwich later this evening, if that will do.
That will be fine, Rogers. Thank you.
Excellent. Now, if you will excuse me, I must get to serving.
By all means. I can hear them all in the dining room chattering. I can't quite make out what they're saying. This might be a good time to explore the house more thoroughly. Aha! With my ear against the door, the conversation becomes quite clear.
Wine, Doctor?
No, thank you, Rogers. I never touch alcohol.
Except for sterilizing wounds or instruments, of course.
I tried to collect some apples from an orchard on the island, but a bee stung me. I'm afraid I dropped the basket and ran. No need to apologize. I myself am dreadfully allergic to bees, wasps, hornets. I'm sorry to hear there are bees here. Oh, you must take care. There's all sorts of those bee house things. What do you call it?
An apiary.
Oh, I thought that was for monkeys.
Ethel!
Miss Claythorne, we've never met, but I do seem to recall your name.
Oh?
Yes, from when I stayed at that stuffy old hotel near St. Treadney. Do you know it?
No. No, I don't think so.
Really? How extraordinary. I was so shocked.
Narracott says he's not Fred Fane, but his brother. It may well be, but he bears watching.
Seems like such a nice man.
They said the same thing about Stevenson, the child murderer. I confess I've never met our host, Mr. Owen. What kind of a man is he? Rogers?
We haven't seen the Owens either, sir. We were only engaged a week ago by letter, and asked to make the house ready.
So no one has actually met the Owens.
How extraordinary.
I, for one, will have some sharp questions for the Owens when they do arrive.
I should come back later, when the conversation has progressed some.
Time to go for some exploring, shall we?
I don't think going through that would help. Either he's innocent, in which case I'd be grossly invading his privacy, or he's guilty, and surely wouldn't be daft enough to leave any evidence in his luggage. It's a marble sculpture of an elephant. I copied the contents into my notebook. Nothing else to see about that. I can't see anything of interest. Nothing else to see about that. I see nothing remarkable. I find this painting particularly bland.
Well, let's have a look in here, shall we?
I copied the contents into my notebook. Nothing out of order in here. I'd best not take anything, though. I'm sure he would notice. I don't think going through that would help. Either he's innocent, in which case I'd be grossly invading his privacy, or he's guilty, and surely wouldn't be daft enough to leave any evidence in his luggage. I transcribed the pertinent passages in my notebook. I copied the contents into my notebook.
Right, just quickly, I need to just mark down something. So I've now done second video. So I've already done 1, 2. I've already done 7 videos today. So I need to do another. I need to do 5 for this because I've finished off Spider-Man now.
I'd guess Owen made sure no clocks in the house are working. This one has stopped. I copied the contents into my notebook. I've already learned all I can.
Right, let's continue. What's that?
I copied the contents into my notebook. This is a fairly sparse makeup case. Vera isn't the type to use much makeup, though. I copied the contents into my notebook. It would certainly be noticed if I rifled through her luggage. I'd better not.
Right, I think.
It would be incredibly improper for me to go through a lady's luggage. I won't do it. I see nothing remarkable. I copied the contents into my notebook. This is quite a makeup supply. Emily must be more concerned with aging than she lets on.
Another letter. We've got a lot of bedtime.
I copied the contents into my notebook. It appears to be a portrait of the general. Must be quite old. He's standing with a very young woman. It's signed, "To John, my husband, Leslie." This could use a closer look. This bears a closer look. I copy the contents into my notebook.
King
This
James,
could use a closer
Son of
look.
Solomon. Okay. Right, time to go back to the kitchen, I think. Let's see if we can listen to the conversation anymore.
I won't do that. Perhaps another time. Aha! With my ear against the door, the conversation becomes quite clear.
Did anyone else see the poem over the fireplace?
10 little sailor boys. Yes, I saw it.
And here before us as the centerpiece of our table are the 10 little sailor boys themselves, all looking correct and polished.
I like a neat and tidy house, Your Honor.
Robson, the man who built this house, was a sailor. Perhaps Mr. Owen inherited them from him.
Another question for Mr. Owen.
As I remember, the rhyme was about soldier boys. Highly inappropriate, as I recall.
There are many variations.
You seem to know quite a bit about it, Miss Claythorne.
I was a governess before seeking secretarial work. Governesses spend a lot of time with nursery rhymes.
All gratuitously gruesome, if you ask me. So much violence in the world today.
Sometimes violence is necessary, Miss Brent.
There speaks a soldier for you.
A realist, Miss Brent, not a dreamer. If action needs to be taken, I, for one, am fully prepared to take it.
How does the famous rhyme go, Miss Claythorne?
Must we harp on this topic at dinner?
Miss Brent may be right, Mr. Marston. The rhyme is a bit gruesome. It's there over the fireplace in the parlor if you care to have a look later.
If you think so. Excellent meal, Rogers. My compliments to both you and your good woman. You've done your employers proud.
Thank you, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Most gratifying, I'm sure. After dinner drinks will be served in the front parlor.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, silence please. This is your host, UN Owen. You are charged with the following indictments. Edward George Armstrong, that you did upon the 14th day of March 1925 cause the death of Louisa Mary Cleese. Emily Caroline Brent, that upon the 5th of November 1931 you were responsible for the death of Beatrice Taylor. William Henry Blore, that you brought about the death of James Stephen Landor on October 10th, 1928. Vera Elizabeth Claythorne, that on the 11th day of August 1935 you killed Cyril Ogilvy Hamilton. Philip Lombard, that upon a date in February 1932 you were guilty of the death of 21 men, members of an East African tribe. John Gordon Mackenzie, that on the 4th of January 1917 you deliberately sent your wife's lover Arthur Richmond to his death. Anthony James Marston, that upon the 14th day of November last you were guilty of the murder of John and Lucy Combs. Thomas Rogers and Ethel Rogers, that on the 6th of May, 1929, you brought about the death of Jennifer Brady, Lawrence John Wargrave, that upon the 10th day of June, 1934, you were guilty of the murder of Edward Seaton. Prisoners at the bar, have you anything to say in your defense?
Doctor! I only fainted, Rogers. I'm sure she'll be fine. Narracott, you get my bag from my room?
Yes, of course.
Stout fellow. Marston, in a moment I'll want help to get her to her room. Of course. Behind the kitchen, is it, Rogers?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. You can use that door.
I can't remember what actual room he's in. Excuse me. I mean, honestly, excuse me, that was rather rude.
Polished marble spheres.
Well, I
and
think I'm
some
actually going to
books.
call this a video here,
Nothing worth
guys. So
investigating
we will
further.
find the doctor's bag, and then I think we'll continue this in the next video. So until I find the bag, I'm sure it's here somewhere. Oh, bit lag there.
It would certainly be noticed if I rifled through his luggage. I better not.
So yeah, I'm going to go and find the bag. I'm not going to do this on screen because it's just going to be ridiculously long for you guys and it's not fair. So until then, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you're enjoying this LP. I actually am getting into this now. It's quite intriguing, this game, once you get into it. A bit slow off the mark, but apart from that, it's absolutely fine. What's this?
Various toiletries. Nothing of interest that I can see. This could
I
use a
think I might
closer
actually
look.
have found the room that I need. I believe this is the one. Nope, it's not the one. Oh my god. Well, I'm gonna find this off screen. So until then, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.